Well, hi there guys, Mark here. We're here today at Cfmoto in the south of England, and today we're going to be taking out the all-new Cfmoto 450 MT. Stay tuned and I'll give you my thoughts on it. Well, hi there guys, Mark here, and really pleased today to be bringing you a review on the all-new Cfmoto 450 MT. So just in the usual way, we just run through all the specifications, take it for a test ride on some A-roads, dual carriageways, a little bit of tracks and trails through town, and then we'll finish off with the final thoughts at the end. So lots and lots to talk about on this bike. So first of all, starting off with the price. £5,699, and that's on the road. So what you're getting here, the level of specification, this brilliant engine with the 270-degree crank, more of that later. You know, it's a very high spec bike, you know, for a great price. So it comes with the same engine that's used in the NK that I reviewed last week, and also the S models. It's got the 449.5cc parallel twin, and this has the fantastic 270-degree crank, which gives it that lovely V-twin sound and feel. It's got liquid cooled and it's got 8 valves. So the power on this is slightly down on the NK and the sports version, but it's got more torque. So this has 41.5 horsepower at 8,500 RPM, whereas as a comparison the NK has 46 horsepower, but that's at 10,000 RPM. This has a bit more torque than the NK. This has 42 Newton meters, lower down as well at 6,500. In the real world you don't actually notice that loss of power, but what it means is you get more pulling power from low revs, which is actually what you want in the real world, and especially for an adventure style bike like this. So that little bit of change in power is probably due to, like, you know, the ECU or the exhaust, cam and airbox to sort of make those engine changes. So tyres on this, got a 21-inch front wheel. And absolutely brilliant news, we all love tubeless. This is tubeless, so that's absolutely brilliant. You can see the detail here, the spokes are on the side of the rim. So these are CST tyres on this. We've got a 90 on the front, 21-inch front wheel, and a 140 on the rear. That's with an 18-inch wheel. These are CST tyres, which are a dual purpose. We've got a block tread pattern, more than capable for this sort of type of track and trail. So standard seat height on this is 820mm. I'll just put a cut scene in a minute for you, and just as a reference, I'm 5'7" tall with a 30-inch inside leg, 170 centimeters tall. I weigh about 75 kilos. So standard seat height is 820. You can buy an accessory higher option seat for the tall riders out there of 870mm. Now under there, I don't know if you can see it, but there's another hole there where the suspension linkage can be moved, which lowers it down to 800mm. So that's really good that you could change the height of it. So I'll just show you a quick cutscene of me on the bike. So physically, if you stand back, it is a big machine, but bear in mind that a lot of all this here is all plastic bodywork, so that's kind of, yeah, that's what fools you a bit. It's not a heavy bike. 175 kilograms dry, 185 kilograms wet, and on the move it does feel a very light machine. It's not a big imposing heavy adventure bike, which is where these sorts of bikes, you know, really excel. Quite a decent sized fuel tank, 17.5 litres in here. It's a small engine, so you should get at least 65, probably 70 to the gallon. So well over 200-mile tank range easily out of this. So the list of high spec continues. We've got KYB adjustable suspension there with 200mm of travel. Suspension adjusters up there. And then on the rear, we've got an adjustable rear shock. Adjustable down the bottom there, and the preload there. That's 200mm of travel. So you know, a lot of suspension travel for off-road use. We have an adjustable screen where you turn this knob here, and it puts it up and down. So I'll keep it up in the highest position. So a very, very nice looking, high quality TFT on these. I don't know if you can see that in this sort of bright sunshine, but trust me, it does look really good, and you can see it very clearly as well in sunshine. Lots of information there. We'll have a look at that a bit later. And that connects to your smartphone. It's got navigation, all your music, all that sort of stuff. Got Bosch dual channel switchable ABS, so you can turn it on or off. So you can probably lock up the rear wheel if you need to off-road. We've also got Bosch traction control. Braking is courtesy of J. Juan, Spanish manufacturer. Single disc on the front, but more than adequate stopping power. That's a 4-piston caliper up there, so that's all good. Got LED lights all round. Like a daytime running light there as well. Nothing much under the seat, just your battery there and your relays, and a tiny little bit of space sort of under there. Very small indeed though. Nice that it comes with the rear rack, so you can fit a top box there with, say, a Jivy universal plate. That would be great. You've got a USB just there. These come with a 4-year warranty, which is really, really good. And service intervals on these, 3,000 mile service intervals, which is 5,000 kilometers, and the valves are very, very good. The check is classed as at 24,000 miles. That's pretty impressive. I'd be interested to see if it will actually go that far to 24,000 miles, but all good. So that's 40,000 kilometers. But I really do like this color scheme. This sort of turquoise looks really nice in blue. It's also available in a sort of like a blacky grey color as well. But looking around the bike, you know, it looks really well built. Cfmoto are really coming on now, and this little bike, you know, I'm sure will sell absolutely brilliantly because it's really, really good to ride at a great price, and that little engine sounds and feels absolutely fantastic. So anyway, let's do the test ride, guys, shall we? Cfmoto 450 MT. I've been really looking forward to try out one of these, and the day has finally arrived. So it's a big bike, physically big bike, but when you sit on it, the suspension does sink down a bit at the back. And as I said, I've got a 30-inch inside leg. I'm 5'7", and I'm very nearly flat-footed with my sort of standard boots on. So if I had the suspension on that lower notch, that 800, I would be absolutely flat-footed. So it's not super tall. You know, I'm not a tall guy, and I'm able to ride this. You can get a higher seat option as well. So let's just run through all the controls. We have a very, very light clutch, which is lovely, which is a span adjustable. There's your headlight flasher there. You have your back button, menu enter, scroll up and down, indicators, horn, switchable ABS, which is great. Nice little details that like you know, like the brake reservoir there, looks nice, pleasing to the eye. There's your engine start, engine stop, and hazards. So there's your fully adjustable suspension on the top of the forks there. Turn the key and you've got a really, really nice looking TFT on these. Bit like the NK that I reviewed last week, so you can have either that theme or a different theme that goes across. So if we press enter, that goes into a very, very comprehensive sort of menu system that allows you to pair all your phone and music and all that sort of stuff. And then there's all your settings there to change all the brightness and all sorts of stuff. So all the adjustment of the clock and stuff like that. So come back out of that. That's all good. And so that's your standard looking screen. You've got all your trip meters, fuel consumption, temperature gauge there, fuel, gears, all your warning lights, and a little clock up there. So that's nice. Adjustable screen, that's in the highest position. So let's start her up. And the star of the show is this little peach of an engine, 270-degree crank, which means the pistons go up and down at sort of offsets. That gives it that kind of rumble, just like a V-twin. And it sounds glorious, and it's really, really good performer as well. So anyway, let's try this out. Very easy into first gear, super light clutch, and away we go. Okay, so out on the open road on the brilliant new Cfmoto 450 MT. And I can tell you straight off, this little adventure bike for the money is absolutely brilliant. So just starting off with the riding position, being an adventure bike, it's very upright, very comfortable indeed. Lovely wide bars, they are raked back a bit, so I'm pretty much bolt upright. So that screen is quite right out there, but I've got it in the highest position. Very acceptable level of wind and weather protection there. The hand guards give you some protection on your hands, so all in all, very, very good protection from the weather. Nice big seat on this. I can get my feet down to the floor quite easily, being 5'7". It's definitely all day comfortable, this bike. Really, really nice, comfortable ride. The engine, parallel twin 450cc, but it really does pull well. I mean, we're in top gear now, but it's still very keen indeed. And it's just got that wonderful smoothness, it's got that V-twin sound, so it's absolutely knockout, 5-star little engine, really good. I've got loads of leg room here. My knees are nicely into the sort of tank sides here. Well, the tank's here, but these are the sort of plastic side panels, but nicely sculpted in there. So if you were a lot taller than me, you'd have no problem with this at all. So I'm just going to drop it down to fourth now, 40 mile an hour, just wind it open a bit. As you can see, it's extremely flexible engine. In my opinion, the best engine in this category, and there's quite a bold statement, but it really is a smooth, characterful, punchy little engine, so superb. Overall ride quality, suspension, very, very plush, very compliant and comfortable. You know, this road down here is extremely bumpy, and it's absolutely floating over it all. Big travel suspension, front and rear, is just ironing out all the bumps. It's what you'd expect from an adventure style bike like this. So excellent suspension by KYB. Alright, so there's nothing behind. Just try a bit of the old front brake. So single disc on this, and that's very strong indeed. So more than adequate performance there from the front brake. Down to third, sort of short shift it through that lovely mid-range. Sort of between 4 and 6 is where this engine really shines. Exceptionally smooth with its twin balance shafts, really, really impressive. So 21-inch front wheel on this with block tread pattern, but it still turns really well. The tyres feel confidence inspiring, it's very stable. It doesn't feel a heavy bike. You know, it's physically big, but it feels light. And you may not be able to hear it on the camera, but the noise this makes when you open it up, it really does sound good. Now we will take it on a dual carriageway in a while, just to see what it's like at the slightly higher speeds. But so far, you know, if I drop it down to sort of fifth, take it up to 6,000 revs, very, very smooth indeed. You know, exceptionally smooth for a parallel twin. So what's the Cfmoto like off-road? Well, this is a pretty gnarly, loose, gravelly, bumpy track, and pleased to report is very good. This bike feels very, very light. You know, you've got traction control, you've got ABS which you can turn off. It's got good KYB suspension. It's floating over all these bumps now. I'm standing up now, and that feels very controllable. I mean, this bike would be easily capable of a lot more extreme off-road than this. So that's a massive plus point for this bike. It's a very good road bike to use on bumpy roads that we get in the UK. It's well priced, but you know, it's very capable of doing this sort of stuff. There's plenty of pull from low down, you know, sort of 3 to 4,000. This engine is very, very punchy. You know, it punches well above its weight for a 450cc, and it's exceptionally smooth as well. So I'm just standing up again. That feels really good. Nice sort of position there with the big wide bars. So there's some rough stuff here. Plenty of traction out the back there. Tyres feel good, and the suspension really is doing a good job. So there you are, guys. The 450 MT, more than capable of doing off-road. Right, let's see how the Cfmoto performs at the slightly higher speeds on a dual carriageway. So just revving out through that lovely mid-range very easily up to 70 miles an hour, no problems at all there. So at 70 miles an hour, doing about 6,500 revs, still very, very smooth. Obviously you've got that nice bit of power in reserve for any overtakes, but on the whole, 70 miles an hour sitting here like this, it's very effortless, very smooth, only the slightest little buzz coming through the foot pegs. So you know, for a big bike with quite a small little engine, it's very, very impressive. You could easily ride this all day and do some big touring trips on this with some luggage on the back. Very impressive indeed. I just sort of slow it down a tiny bit and then just open it up a bit in top. There's your sort of 65, 68, 70, so you can see it's very flexible, keen and willing. Wind protection is very good. There's a still bubble of air just about here. Bike feels very stable. You know, it's quite a light bike in actual fact, but it's holding its line very well. But what I'm liking so much is just this smoothness of the engine. It's very, very impressive for a little bike. You know, normally parallel twins can be a bit buzzy and a bit vibey, but this one is a very good quality engine. So there you are, guys. The Cfmoto will handle 70 miles an hour, no problems at all, with quite a bit in reserve. Brilliant. Just accelerating out through that lovely mid-range. It's got a lot of pull, this little engine. It really does go well. It sounds absolutely brilliant. So here we are, just cruising at 60, doing about 5,500 revs. The tiniest, and I mean the tiniest little buzz coming through the foot pegs, but not enough to give you any sort of numbness. But on the whole, it's very, very impressively smooth. It feels so well put together, this bike. Just dropping it down to 5th gear. Just opening it up at this hill a bit. Very, very light gearbox, light clutch, all very smooth and precise. Just try those brakes out again, front and rear. ABS kicked in a bit then, so that's all good. 2nd gear. The way it's fueled and the way it responds to the throttle is really nice. Let's just see what the 450 MT is like in an urban environment. A bike like this is going to spend a lot of time at low speeds. So we're just in 3rd gear at the moment, just under 30. That's taking that really easily. Actually, let's try it into 4th gear. Oh, it's holding that really well. There's no sort of drivetrain snatchiness or backlash. Fuel injection feels absolutely spot on. No nasty surging or hunting in the fueling. throttle response is very good. It's quite a quick throttle, but I wouldn't say it's like snatchy. Just got to just gently roll your wrist back, and that's absolutely fine. But there you go. So just purring along now at 4th gear, 3,500 revs. Very commanding position, got a great view, comfortable. Just going to drop it down to 3rd. Pulling power from low down is excellent. Great sort of view out of the mirrors. Down to 2nd gear. Just feathering that clutch. So there you have it, guys. The 450 MT is absolutely perfect at the low speeds. Very good. Decent amount of wind protection. I like that. You do sort of sit right behind the front of the bike, so that's good. Very, very bumpy down this road, and this is exactly where these style of bikes come into their own. So they got the big soft suspension, big bars, nice comfy seats. They're absolutely great. All the switch gear feels nice and tactile, doesn't feel cheap, plasticky. It's got a nice feel to it. Oh, this is good round the bends for such a big bike. Just drop it down to 4th. Let's slow it right down and just show you that wind on. 4th gear. As you can see, it's very sprightly. It picks up really well. You know, for a mere 40 horsepower, it does exceptionally well pushing a bike of this size along. Big bump here, really good on that one. So 5th gear, just going to open up this hill a bit. Oh, so free revving. It doesn't complain about being revved at all. Plenty of go. Top speed on this, I would estimate around about 95. You might get 100 out of it on a good day, but that means that you can easily cruise at 70, you know, which is great. Easy to use indicators, that's all good. Alright then, you know the score. We're going to have a look round here. Just going down the gearbox now. Very slick and easy, and very easily into neutral there. God, doesn't it sound good? Right, I'll just keep the high beam on with the indicators. Let's have a little look at the front of it with the lights on. Oh yeah, they're really bright. I expect they'd be exceptional at night. So that's low beam, high beam puts that on, but you've got this daytime running light, which is nice. So yeah, really like that TFT. Superb. Alright guys, let's just take a look round, shall we? This fantastic Cfmoto 450 MT. That is a cracking bike for the money. It really is. I do like the sort of the look of it here. Very sort of off-road Paris Dakar sort of look, isn't it? So big wheels on this on the front here, 21-inch CST, but they perform very well. Excellent KYB forks there. More than adequate J Juan single disc. All the paintwork looks very nice. That engine, you know, like in all the 450s, is an absolute gem. 270-degree crank, it's just the way to go. To me, that's one of the best engines, if not the best engine in this category of bikes. There's a lot to choose from in this sort of 450, 500cc sort of category, but this is just one of the best engines in my opinion. Back brake works well as well. Nice little detail there. I do like the sort of look of these brake reservoirs. Super smooth clutch, that's good. Sounds fabulous. big, spacious, comfortable seat there. Not too tall for an adventure bike. You know, I can get my feet down, so that's all good. 6-speed gearbox, adjustable rear suspension. As I said, all the build quality looks very tidy indeed. So nice decent grab rail there, and this is not a heavy bike. You know, it might look big and heavy, but to push it around is an absolute doddle. It's got a really good steering lock on it, so as you can see, no problem moving it about. Brilliant. So I'll just show you this again. Adjustable screen, that's a nice touch. Probably be able to get bigger screens over time. But so there you are, guys, the Cfmoto 450 MT. What a brilliant machine. Fantastic spec, rides absolutely superbly. Very good for the money. If you're after a small lightweight adventure bike that really does punch above its weight, definitely take a look at one of these. They're very good indeed. So guys, please don't forget to post your comments down below, give me a like, share and subscribe, and I will see you again in a week or so for another two-wheeled review. Ride safe, guys. All the best. Bye for now.